1 fall 10 from Tennessee at 215 pounds, Roger Howell. Roger Howell. His opponent, ladies and gentlemen, the incredible man from Sudan at 308 pounds, introducing Abdullah the Butcher. Abdullah.
The Butcher charging right on the bell, moves against his man. Come off the ropes, catches him with a double thrust to the throat, coming off the ropes. Abdullah the Butcher, the wild man from the Sudan, brings him up. Crashes down, had him up in a backbreaker position. Abdullah the Butcher off the second rope, crashes down on his man once again. Crashes down on... no question, it's all over. Abdullah the Butcher. And an outstanding football player. Has a deep and abiding love for one-on-one physical contact. Bottom wrist lock, and it was Slater now moving to an arm drag. Arm drag and twist, however. And it is Dillinger back on the canvas. And Dillinger complaining to the referee, but to no avail. All right, Slater watches his man carefully. Slater has great explosive power, but and you can hear the crowd at the television sports arena putting some psychological pressure on Ken Dillinger. Dillinger obviously not a favorite of the crowd. Slater, very controversial, a volatile young man. Slater drives a knee into the leg of Ken Dillinger. Now Dillinger, the chin lock on Slater, trying to drag Slater over the edge if he can. Slater coming down on those femoris muscles. And it is Dillinger still on the canvas. All right, Dillinger once again with that chin lock now, trying to bring Slater over. Slater has the left leg of Dillinger scissored. And again, Dillinger trying with that cross chin lock to no avail. Slater now changing his tactics, putting the pressure on the ankle of Ken Dillinger. Dillinger is going to have a mobility problem. A headbutt by Slater. And the referee forcing the break on that. Dillinger trying to get to his feet. Slater drop toe hold, takes Dillinger to the canvas very quickly. So Mr. Dillinger who is a veteran of the ring wars and knows the shortcuts. Dillinger now ripping across the eyes of Dick Slater. Karate thrust to the throat, and Dillinger now beginning to move in very confidently against Dick Slater. Slater chops across the chest. Slater, elbow to the top of the head, another elbow to the top of the head, and Slater now beginning to dominate here with Ken Dillinger. He drops him. A chopping right hand to the jaw. Dillinger coming in very slowly, and it was Slater catching him coming in. Slater sets, crashes down across his chest, and it is Dillinger with a lot of problems. Slater, inverted roll, an inverted roll. I saying so, sir, one of the most emotional competitors I've ever seen in the ring.
I am absolutely sick. And I'm not sick at my stomach. I'm sick right here, right between the ears. is I am sick and tired of hearing people go ahead and say that Dusty Rhodes was a world's heavyweight champion. He was the shortest-lived champion that there ever was. And yes, I did cost him that championship. And yes, I did break his arm. And yes, I want to put the man out of professional wrestling more than anything else. You see, as I've got a father up there, and I want him to be looking down on me, and I want him to say, Terry, I've got a lot of pride in you because you do what you say. And Terry, you are king of the Texas death matches right now. That's what I want the people to go ahead and realize in Georgia. And yes, my brother and I did cost Wahoo McDaniels a world's championship. And yes, I will continue being on this man's back from now on until we get him out of wrestling. And I hear people say to me, yellow, yellow, when they come in from behind.
Tomorrow night, they may be saying the very same thing, sir.
I have got, after that no disqualification match, my brother Junior and I are going to lead them lying in the ring in the Omni. And after that, I'm going to have a chance at Dusty Rhodes, that egg-sucking dog, and I'm going to put my hands around his neck, and his face is going to swell, and his eyeballs are going to bulge.
Well, we're going to find out tomorrow night, 7:30 at the Omni.
Tony Atlas, I guess you were about 20 years old. How old are you now?
Right now, I'm 25.
So I've known you 5 years. Holy smoke, time flies. Well, you've been off and on in this area that long, and of course you've gone, since we first met Tony, he's traveled all over the world. He's made great appearances in Houston, Texas. I know he's been to Madison Square Garden. He's been out of this country. He's been to the top arenas. Tony, nobody, I don't think, is as for you anymore than the fans of Georgia.
That's right. You know, Georgia is the place where I got my start at. You know, I first came here to Georgia under the hood, and everybody called me Black Atlas.
That's right.
And I had a hood. I had trunks to match my hood and everything, and I kind of enjoy being Black Atlas. But then I wrestled a guy by the name of Abdullah the Butcher, and Abdullah, you know, him and at that time was James J. Dillon was his manager, and they had me handcuffed to the ring and unmasked me. And ever since that, I just went without the mask, and I went back to North Carolina, my home, down to Virginia, wrestled a little bit, and then I went across seas to Central America. Then I went to, I'm presently now wrestling in New York. I've been to all through Texas wrestling, down through Florida, Louisiana, and I just try to wrestle everywhere that I can because I enjoy traveling. But of all the places I have been, it just seemed like Georgia had treated me tremendously. You know, the fans up in New York are outstanding fans. You know, you read about New York and you read about how rough the city is and everything, but the people up there is almost like the people down here. You know,
I think people are the same everywhere.
Everywhere you go.
Something that they like to do, they get behind it and support it, and if something they don't like, they'll let you know that, too.
That's right.
They do like you, Tony. The reason is one thing about you, whether you're in Atlanta, Georgia, or Columbus, Georgia. In fact, whether you're in Columbus, Georgia, or Columbus, Ohio, where we're going to have wrestling starting at the end of this month, we found the fans up there are very anxious to see a lot of our performers live and in action. Great response there from the first announcement.
That's where the contest going to be, I'm in.
Yeah?
Columbus, Ohio. They have, November the 1st, Mr. International and Mr. Universe contest. And them the two competitions I'm getting in shape for. So they're coming up in that area of wrestling sometime. We just fit right on in there.
Sure will. I tell you, we're going to try to keep going back there quite often. The first matches are, to say, at the end of this month, the 28th, the last Sunday. But then we'll be back in October. And the way the response has been early here, I hope it's going to stay that way. We'll be back in November and pull for you for that contest you're in. Have you wrestle.
Abdullah the Butcher. One fall with a 10-minute time limit. Abdullah, of course, one of the most awesome opponents in professional wrestling, and very, very dangerous. And Brazil very quickly hurtled to the canvas, and Abdullah has not changed a bit. He's still the same kind of competitor. Brazil back on his feet, and it is Abdullah hurdling him outside the ring. Brazil trying to get back in, but he's being caught by the feet of the man from Sudan. Short, quick chop to the head. Now it is Abdullah again. A forearm across the chest, and again. Brazil back on the concrete outside the ring. Coming up very, very slowly indeed. Now moves back into the ring, and it is Abdullah the Butcher catching him again in the side of the jaw. The headbutt that puts Brazil back to the canvas. And so Brazil has not moved effectively. Now fires to the midsection, but it had little or no effect. Fires again and again. Abdullah the Butcher with a headbutt that puts Brazil back to the canvas. He brings him high, and he crashes down with him. Abdullah the Butcher comes down using that elbow so very, very effectively. No pin. He pulled him up before the pin. Pulled him on his feet before the pin. Full slam. And it is Abdullah the Butcher going across the ring. The back of the elbow. It is all over. Curtis Brazil totally destroyed by Abdullah the Butcher. And the referee now trying to get Abdullah the Butcher to release Curtis Brazil. Brazil took a tremendous pounding, a tremendous beating at the hands and feet and body of this. And Abdullah the Butcher now, more boots, but now both referees getting set to move Brazil out of the way. And so Abdullah the Butcher, after a long absence, obviously back and just as mean, just as strong, and just as devastating as ever before. Skier, a great wrestler, a great hunter, a great backpacker. There's no limit to what this man does.
Thank you very much, Gordon. You know, the tag team tournament is a tournament that could be held in any building anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, actually. It's going to be held right here on television, so it actually becomes, you know, a national tournament. And as I indicated before, you know, like winning in professional wrestling or in sports or whatever, you know, is a matter of positive juice, positive energy or whatever. If the people of Georgia support the Anderson brothers, and I'm sure that they will, I'm sure that we're going to win the tournament. I know that we will give it 150%. You know, the people that are going to be in the tournament, Killer Khan, Toa Tanaka, Briscoe brothers, it goes on and on. The names go on and on. I'm sure that you know most of the people that are going to be in the tournament. It's going to be the toughest tournament for a tag team championship that has been held, you know, for quite some time. And I'm very proud to be in it. I know that my brother Ole's very proud to be in it.
Well, so let me ask you this, though. You do face that very distinct possibility. It could be you and Ole against Jack and Jerry Briscoe. It could be you and Ole against Tommy Rich and Chief Wahoo McDaniel.
Well, that's true. You know, like, it's the luck of the draw at that point. But the way I look at it, I mean, we're in the tournament to win. The team that wins that particular tournament are in for about $250,000 a year apiece, because it's going to be a tournament where the champions go all over the U.S. defending the championship. So for that kind of bread, for that kind of money, you know, like...
friendship goes out the window.
That's for sure. You know, you put 100% energy, 150% energy into it, because on the other end of it, you do professional wrestling for a living. The name of the game is money, and winning is the name of the game as far as getting that money and hanging on to it.
Thank you so very much, Lars Anderson.